Chapter 41. Grand Tutor Wen attacks West Qi. When they heard that a general from West Qi was challenging them, the brothers hurried out. They saw a young general riding a jade unicorn. He was about 16 years old and wore a gold helmet and a scarlet robe covered with gold chain mail. He held 2 silver hammers in his hands. Mo Liqing moved up. "Who are you?" "I'm none other than Huang Tianhua, the eldest son of Prince Huang Feihu. By order of Prime Minister Jiang, I've come to take you alive." Greatly infuriated, Mo Liqing strode up to attack Huang Tianhua. Huang Tianhua fought back with his hammers. After 20 rounds, Mo Liqing hurled his white jade ring at Huang Tianhua, striking him heavily on the back and knocking him from his jade unicorn. As Mo Liqing rushed forward to cut his head off, Nejia flew forward on his wind fire wheels to intercept him. "Don't hurt my brother," he shouted and engaged Mo Liqing. As they fought lance against lance, Mo Liqing hurled his white jade ring at Nejia. Without the least hesitation, Nejia tossed up his universal ring to meet it. As the universal ring was made of gold and the white jade ring jade, the gold shattered the jade into pieces. "Damn you, Nejia! How can I let you live?" Mo Liqing cried. He and Mo Lihong rushed forward in a joint attack, but Nejia was aware of the danger. He withdrew into the city before Mo Lihai could play his lute. Huang Feihu was overcome with grief when he saw Huang Tianhua dead. "How could I imagine that you would be killed so soon?" He lay Huang Tianhua's corpse in front of Jiang Ziya's mansion to await burial. Jiang Ziya was stricken with grief, too. He was alone in his mansion when a Taoist lad came to the gate and requested to see him. When the lad was ushered in, he bowed. "To have been sent here by virtue of the pure void to carry Huang Tianhua back to the mountain." Jiang Ziya was delighted at the news. The White Cloud lad carried Huang Tianhua's corpse to Mount Green Peak and laid it before the Purple Sun Cave. When his master walked out and saw him lying still, he directed the White Cloud lad to fetch some water. He then dissolved an elixir pill, pried Huang's mouth open with a sword, and poured the solution down his throat. An hour or two later, Huang Tianhua returned to life. He opened his eyes and saw his master. "How do I meet you here, master?" Huang Tianhua asked. "Brute. It's a sin to eat meat. It's a sin to take off your Taoist dress and forget your origins. It's only for Jiang Ziya's sake that I brought you back to life." Huang Tianhua felt ashamed and kowtowed before his master. The immortal then took something out and handed it to him. "Hurry back to West Qi and meet the brothers again. You'll score great success with this magic weapon. I'll be there soon, too." Huang Tianhua bade farewell to his master, mounted his dust cloud, and got back to West Qi a few moments later. He was admitted to the Prime Minister's mansion and repeated what his master had told him. Huang Feihu was overjoyed to see his son restored to life. The following day, Huang Tianhua mounted his unicorn, rode out of the city, and once again challenged the Mo generals. "Today, I'll fight you all to the death to determine once and for all who is the best man." Huang Tianhua cried when they had arrayed themselves before him. Mo Liqing rushed into attack with his lance, and Huang met him with his 2 hammers. After several rounds, Huang Tianhua gave up ground and began to flee on his unicorn. Mo Liqing set off in hot pursuit. Seeing him close behind, Huang Tianhua quickly hung his hammers on the saddle and took out the silk bag his master had given him. From inside the bag he drew out a shining nail, about 7.5 inches long. It was the heart-penetrating nail. He hurled it back at Mo Liqing. With a flash of golden light, the nail struck Mo Liqing in the breast and went right through his heart. With a scream of agony, Mo Liqing fell to the ground. When he saw his brother dead, Mo Lihong rushed out with his halberd. Huang Tianhua recovered the nail and threw it straight at him. Mo Lihong had no time to dodge, and it went right through him. "You little brute! What do you use to hit my brothers?" Mo Lihai shouted. But before he could make a move, his life was also ended by the nail. It was destined by fate that the 4 heavenly kings should lose their lives at the hands of Huang Tianhua, who was later to be created Bing Linggong, the spiritual god. His 3 brothers all dead, Mo Lisho put his hand into his bag to release the ermine, but he did not know that the ermine was really Yang Jian in an assumed form. As he reached into the bag, Yang Jian snapped at his hand, biting his fingers off. Mo Lisho screamed in pain, and Huang Tianhua's nail flew through the air for the 4th time, piercing him through the heart. While Huang Tianhua was busy beheading the 4 Mo generals, the spotted ermine ran out of the bag and, in a gust of wind, returned to human form. Huang Tianhua did not know him. "Who are you?" "I'm Yang Jian. On Uncle Jiang's orders, I stayed inside the bag as an ermine to help from within the Shang camp. You did a wonderful job, finishing them all off." As they talked, Nejia came over on his wind-fire wheels. "I'm overjoyed, brothers. You've won a great victory today." They congratulated one another and returned to the city together. They then entered the Prime Minister's mansion and reported the victory. Jiang Ziya was delighted and ordered that the heads of the 4 Mo generals be hung on the city wall as a warning to invaders. The soldiers that the Mo brothers had brought with them fled back to Sishui Pass. Han Rong was greatly alarmed. Who would have thought that Jiang Shang would prove such a formidable opponent? He hurriedly wrote a report to Zhao Ge. Grand Tutor Wen was quite happily reading documents in his office. One report said that General Do Rong of Yohun Pass has won several victories over the East Grand Duke. Another report read, General Deng Changyu, daughter of Commander Deng Zhougong at Xinshan Pass, has repulsed the South Grand Duke. But he froze at the report from Han Rong. How dare Jiang Shang insult His Majesty like this? How could I have guessed that the 4 generals would all lose their lives? Oh, what a haughty devil you are, Jiang Shang. The eye in the middle of his forehead opened wide, shooting forth a white beam of light about 2 feet long. He fumed with anger. Right. The East and South are now gradually being brought under control. Tomorrow I'll see His Majesty and seek permission to go personally to West Qi. Only then can I be assured of defeating the enemy. The following day, when he presented his report, King Zhou gave his immediate approval. I appreciate it very much that the Grand Tutor is to punish the rebels on my behalf. He ordered that Grand Tutor Wen be presented with the yellow scepter and white axes that represented royal authority. On an auspicious date, Grand Tutor Wen sacrificed to the grand banners and started off to West Qi. Before his departure, King Zhou filled a cup and handed it to him. He received it with a bow. Your old minister has to exert all his efforts to subdue the rebels and restore peace. During my absence, I earnestly hope that your Majesty will listen to the loyal, be diligent, and live in harmony with the ministers. I'll be able to return in about half a year. I've got no worries about you. I'll be expecting your victorious return, Grand Tutor. King Zhou saw him to his mount. But the unicorn had been idle for months. It screamed and reared when the Grand Tutor mounted, sending him tumbling to the ground. His attendants helped him up. Grand Tutor Wen was straightening his hat and robe when Wang Bian, a junior minister, came over. Grand Tutor, it's not a good omen. It might be better to send someone else. Not at all, sir. A subject should work for the king without a thought of his home, and fight on the battlefield without a thought of his own life. To be wounded or even killed is nothing for a general, a quite ordinary experience. The unicorn's long been idle. That's why it threw me. Please don't say anything more about it. He remounted and set off, taking his 300,000 soldiers across the Yellow River to Mianchi County, where he was welcomed by Zhang Kui. Grand Tutor Wen asked, "Which is the shortest route to West Qi, General?" "You can cut 200 li off the march if you go via the Green Dragon Pass." The big army set off once more, marching through the Green Dragon Pass to the sound of drums and gongs. Beyond the pass, the rugged Mountain paths narrowed, permitting only one horse and rider through at a time. The marching was difficult and risky. He realized it would have been faster to take the route directly through the 5 passes, but it was already too late for him to regret his decision. After several days, they got to Yellow Flower Mountain. It was green and lush, with pine trees that covered the peaks and cliffs, bordered the streams, and shaded the caves. In spring, flowers turned the mountain a fiery red. In summer, the lush vegetation, moistened by the rain and illuminated by bright moonlight, made the mountain look as if it was made of blue jade and emerald. In autumn, yellow flowers and red leaves turned the mountain into a blaze of colors. In winter, when snow drifts lay deep and water froze into crystals, the mountain seemed to be covered with silver and white jade. Winding streams crisscrossed across the hillsides, and beautiful birds sang sweetly in the trees. As it was steep and perilous, Grand Tutor Wen ordered his army to halt at the foot of the mountain and climbed to the summit by himself. There he found an immense area of flat ground which seemed to have been used as a battlefield. How wonderful! Should Zhaoge be blessed with peace, how happy I would be to enjoy my remaining years in this tranquility. He was admiring the green bamboos and ancient pine trees when he heard the beating of gongs. He looked back and found that troops were marching up the mountain. There was a general on horseback with an indigo face, cinnabar hair, and a mouth full of long tusks.